Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, should Ben Simmons be ineligible to win the NBA's Rookie of the Year award? Plus, Caron Butler explains why LeBron and the Cavs shouldn't be concerned by the surging 76ers. And how many years does Tom Brady have left in the NFL? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Ben Simmons is the Rookie of the Year favorite, and he was asked earlier this week who should win the award. Simmons said, quote, me, 100%. His main competitor for the award, Donovan Mitchell, responded last night by wearing a sweatshirt to the arena with the definition of the word rookie. It says an athlete playing his or her first season as a member of a professional sports team. Obviously, that's a shot at Simmons, who missed all of last year with an injury. Mitchell was asked about the sweatshirt and said, I'll put it in perspective for people who obviously don't play in the NBA and don't know the life of the NBA. So let's say you have an exam to take on June 1st, and you have a whole year to study for that exam. You're going to get a pretty good grade on it, aren't you? But some people may not have all that time to prepare for that exam, so that's how I look at it, and I hope that puts it in perspective for people. Simmons was asked about it last night. Let's take a listen.
Made the waves over social media during the game. He came to the game tonight in a hoodie that spelled out the definition of what a rookie is. Do you have any response to that?
What was the definition?
An athlete that plays in his first year in his plays being.
I think if his argument is that I'm not a rookie, if that's the only argument he has, I'm in pretty good shape then. So there's a rule in the NBA for a reason. Yeah. I'm not going to wear a sweatshirt tomorrow, though.
Shannon, do you like Donovan Mitchell's sweatshirt?
No. He says it's a person that plays their first year. Did Ben Simmons play NBA basketball last year? Hell,
around.
Joel Embiid was 3 years in and was eligible for Rookie of the Year last year, Skip. Until the NBA changes the rules, Ben Simmons is a rookie. And I get it. Donovan Mitchell has had a phenomenal year, Skip.
Yep.
And by any metric, had Ben Simmons not been in this classification,
Yep.
he would win Rookie of the Year. It would really be close between he and Jason Tatum. I believe Donovan would win that over Jason Tatum. But Ben Simmons, who is a transcendent player, also happens to be a rookie. And anytime you can do something that Magic Johnson didn't do. Now remember, Magic Johnson's rookie year, he played with Kareem. Kareem was MVP of the league. Magic Johnson did not have 12 triple-doubles. So for Ben Simmons to have that many triple-doubles, yes, he's played with looks like a great player, a long-time great player to be.
Yep.
And Joel Embiid, Skip, even when Embiid has been out, Ben Simmons' numbers go up. His assists go up, his points go up, his field goal percentage go up, and he's over 500 without him. You look at Donovan Mitchell's numbers without Rudy Gobert, he's sub 500. So I get the argument, Skip. Ben Simmons came in, he had the red shirt, just like a red shirt freshman. He did not play NBA basketball game. Therefore, he is a rookie. Stop all this politicking. I'm tired of everybody trying to politic. You don't see O'Shea Sharpe doing nothing.
Oh,
I'm about to post something on my page. Soon as we shoot the break, I'm gonna post something.
Interesting. So, you know what my reaction to everything you just said is? What are Ben Simmons' initials? That's what your argument is.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
He got a middle name.
That's what your argument is.
No.
Much of your argument
I think his middle name
his
is Ben.
initials. Yeah.
His middle name is Ben.
Okay.
First name is I think Lamar.
I loved what Donovan Mitchell did last night because he finally fought fire with fire. Remember, your man, Ben Simmons, is a client of your ultimate man, LeBron James, in Unclutch Sports. Unclutch Sports. We got to rename it. I'm sorry, we just got to rename it.
You know what? I'm going to file a charge against you.
And you know what? Speaking of filing charges, Ben Simmons is reading right out of LeBron's handbook when he's asked about who should be Rookie of the Year. Oh, me, 100%. Where have we heard that lately? LeBron, who should the MVP be? Me, 100%.
James Harden said it too.
Oh, please. LeBron always says it.
He ain't lying.
Yeah. And then to add insult to injury to Donovan Mitchell, then Ben Simmons was asked, any other rookie caught your eye? That's all, just caught your eye.
Right.
And he said, none. My eye is on KD and Steph and LeBron and James.
That's where his eyes on.
My eye's on MVP, as if he could even make a case this year that he could be.
That's what he wants to
MVP
be.
Race. So here's my bottom line to this. Even if Ben Simmons shouldn't be disqualified for his redshirt year in the NBA, even if I give you that, which I will not, but even if I do, just on merit of performance versus performance just this year, I still think that Donovan Mitchell deserves the Rookie of the Year for lifting his team in the Western Conference over what Ben Simmons did lifting his team in the far worse conference, in the Eastern Conference, with far more help. Because I'm going to remind you again, Ben Simmons for much of this year has been able to partner with the most dominating 7-foot player in the league in Joel Embiid. Am I right about that?
I thought you liked Kevin Durant.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, is Embiid an arriving monster?
Oh, yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Is he the most dominating center in the league now? Yes, he is.
Well, he's definitely the most dominating in the East.
And if you've been watching the Sixers lately, they now have as explosive an array of three-point sharpshooters as I see in the whole league. Now that they've added Bellinelli and Ilyasova to obviously
Covington.
JJ and Covington, and all of a sudden, it's not that hard for Ben to get his 10 assists tonight because he can kick it and dish it here, and here. They just bombed threes. They made 17 last night at Atlanta. 17 threes? JJ made 6, and Bellinelli made 5, and Ilyasova made 4. They're just bombing threes, so it's pretty easy for Ben to get his numbers. And by the way, he is 7 feet tall as opposed to a 6'3" kid. You want to talk about coming from nowhere? He and the Utah Jazz have come from nowhere. Did anybody before the year started think that Utah would even sniff the playoffs in the West? Seriously, go find some. No. Did any analyst, any commentator say, you know, I like Utah as a dark horse playoff team? Nobody did because they had lost Gordon Hayward and they lost George Hill, who wound up via Sacramento with you guys in Cleveland. And for what it's worth, they lost Joe Johnson off the team that did make the playoffs last year, and it looked like they were pretty dead in the water. So they get this late lottery pick, this kid from Louisville who did not catch my eye at Louisville named Donovan Mitchell. And in 3 of his first 5 games, he scores 2 points. And then guess what happens starting on January 24th? They explode, not just on the West, but on the NBA. They are now 29-5 over their last 34 games. And it's mostly because of this kid electrifying them with his playmaking and shot making on a nightly basis. It is spectacular to watch if you watch it. And the problem is not enough people watch it. So finally, Donovan Mitchell caught fire on social media last night by wearing his hoodie with the definition of rookie on it. Now, you know, does it matter or not matter? Again, I'm making his case with or without disqualifying Ben for his red shirt.
Can I ask you a question? Did you have the Sixers winning 51 games and being the 3rd seed?
I thought they were going to be pretty good. I thought they were going to be a playoff team, back in the playoffs.
Well, you like Vegas. Mm-hmm. Vegas set the odds at 40 games. Mm-hmm. They're 11 games above that right now, with a possibility of being 12 games if they win against Milwaukee. So did anybody see that? Embiid,
J.J. Redick, Covington. Covington's ranked 2nd in the league in defensive win shares.
And Vegas knew that they were going to have Joel Embiid, Covington, J.J. Redick, Vegas knew all of that, and no one had them. But here's the issue, Skip. You said it. You touched on it. What drew Donovan Mitchell's ire is that no other rookie caught his attention. So Donovan Mitchell said, "Hold on, bro. You see what I'm doing out here?" He's the first guy since Carmelo Anthony as a rookie to lead his team in scoring and take them to the playoffs. Bro, you see what I'm doing out here in the West? And you gonna talk about you ain't watch anything?
And by the way, last night he broke Damian Lillard's rookie record for 3-point makes. That's not all bad, right?
Yeah, but still.
But still.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather break a record held by Dame Lillard or Magic Johnson? I'll just let you figure. But here's the Skip. Do people realize this? That Magic's rookie year and Bird, they were rookies the same year. Bird got 33 votes, Magic Johnson got 3. Magic led his team to the finals. Magic had 7 triple-doubles. So just because you don't, and I get it, Skip, that's the highest award you can win as a rookie.
Yep.
Because you're not going to win rookie. The days of, I think Wes Unseld was the last guy to be rookie of the year and MVP in the same season. That's not going to happen again. Players are too great. But don't do that, Skip. Be respectful of Ben Simmons. He's
Okay,
a
I'm gonna be
clown of clutch
respectful.
sports.
He is unclutch sports, but he is not just a good passer. He is a great passer. He is a transcendent 7-foot passer out of the post who can also bring the ball up the floor and play point guard, as he's doing last night in Atlanta. So I give you that. I give you he's a really good rebounder just because he's tall, and yet he can't shoot a lick. He is now 0 for 11 in his NBA career from 3. This year from...
But you got to give context to that, Skip. He's shooting with the shot clock winding down or the end of quarter, end of half. So you make it seem like he's shooting a 3 in the flow of the offense. That's not what he's doing.
He is shooting 36% from two-point range, so he doesn't really even have a two-point shot. And he's shooting 56%, making him a free throw line liability late in games. And some teams have resorted to hack a bin, as I think we're going to see more and more of in the playoffs, maybe in the Eastern Conference Finals against your Cavaliers.
I tell you, I know a guy, Joy, that also happens to be a rookie, that Ben Simmons is shooting 11 points higher from the free throw line than him.
Joy,
a guy that you love.
Joy, do you notice how we have to change
I'm
subject?
just saying. Hold on. But the thing that I love most about Ben Simmons, he knows what he's not. He's not a three-point shooter. He hasn't developed a mid-range game yet. So he says, you know what? I'm 6'10". I back you down, lay it up, or I dunk on your head.
Yeah. And so last night, speaking of, it shocked me as I watched every dribble of Philly at Atlanta, because you predicted that Philly was going to fall back to the 4th seed.
No, I said they were going to lose to Milwaukee tonight.
Okay.
That's what we got to do.
Okay, but what we had to have the do on getting through Atlanta to get to Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching. The game got a little close late, and Ben said, I got to score. And so how did he choose to score? He basically started passing to himself by taking bad shots. If we could see these two plays in a row, these happened back-to-back plays in the fourth quarter. First one, he just throws it up, and he goes and gets his own rebound and dunks it. That's his best offensive play.
I know that.
I'm going to shoot it to myself and then go dunk it. And then he comes down again, and he's just going to throw it up off the glass, and he's going to try to go dunk it. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
So Ben Simmons is now passing to himself in the fourth quarter by shooting it off the backboard. You like that?
Joe, I know a guy that's...
You ever seen that? I've never seen that before.
I know a guy that's about to average a triple-double by doing the exact same thing.
Really?
Getting offensive rebound off missed shot that he took.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ain't going to call the guy's name because he's not in this discussion right now.
I don't think he does it on purpose. That was on purpose. Did you see that?
Yeah. All the greats do that. Throw it up off the backboard. Tracy McGrady's done it.
No, they don't. Not to actually score.
LeBron
They do it for fun, for hot dogging. You know, LeBron would do it as a hot dog. That wasn't hot dog. That's like, we need a basket, so I can't make this shot. So I think I'll just throw it off the glass and I'll go get it.
He's creative.
Oh, he's creative.
All I know is somebody got those 16, 8, and 8. That's what I know. 16, 8, and 8. Now, you over there was clapping you talk about transcendental, about a guy averaging 10, 7, and 6. This is 16, 8, and 8, and all of a sudden you want to like mess over his little stat line. I like Ben Simmons. He's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Lonzo didn't get a red shirt.
Whoa.
Him a lot.
Why you bring him up into the conversation?
You just brought him up.
No, I didn't.
You just said you were referring to him.
Hold on. I don't like those accusations you're making. I didn't call no name.
Oh, yeah, well, you called stats.
No.
Reflect
How you know
today.
his stats? He hadn't played in so long. He still got those numbers?
And by the way, I'm not being a hypocrite to call this back, but I brought it up the Monday after I watched this game. The best regular season game I watched the whole NBA year happened in San Antonio on Friday night, March 23rd. And I told you this. It was Utah at San Antonio. And the best display of clutch shooting happened in the last minute and 47 seconds of regulation by Donovan Mitchell. The Spurs just couldn't stop him. Here he's up again, boom. They're just hanging all over him. This is to tie the game at the end of the game. Look at this. Two guys are all over him. Boom. And every time he went up, I turned to Ernestine. I said, watch, this will be in. This will be in. Watch, he's going to make another one. He made 3 bombs in the last 147.
Did you watch Friday's game?
Which game?
You know what game.
Well, that was just outrageous. They were down 30 points. This was a shootout from the start.
I'm talking about and how he went head to head with his mentor, the guy that he looks up to, the guy that he wants to be most like.
Ben played well in that game.
Don't do that, Skip.
It wasn't the shootout this game was in San Antonio.
Skip,
by the way, the Utah Jazz are coming.
27, 15, and 13.
If you watch this team, if Utah played in the East, they'd be in the finals.
No,
that's
stop.
how good they are.
Stop
well,
it.
come on, am I right?
No.
You know I'm right.
You're not right.
Oh, come on.
You need to give. Why won't you give Ben his credit?
And by the way, Rudy Gobert missed 26 games this year, and they're still here. They're vying for third. They're playing at Portland.
You do know
for third.
Joel Embiid has missed a bunch of games, right? He's missed the last 7.
A few, yeah.
Yeah.
And you better hope he doesn't come back strong, or you're going to be in trouble.
And remember, he wasn't playing back-to-backs at the start. You remember that, right? And there was a game that he played a lot of minutes, and then he had to miss like a whole week because he had played so many minutes, played overtime, double overtime game. I think it was against the Thunder. So Ben Simmons is going to be Rookie of the Year. And you and Donovan Mitchell, y'all need to stop. We know what a rookie is. But I also know what Rookie of the Year is, and I know who isn't going to get it.
Well, speaking of redshirt year, I saw my friend Michael Wilbon on the Late Sports Center, and he'd just been to the Wizards locker room and was going to report on Wizards Celtics. Instead, he talked about how coaches and players came up to him to say, Michael, how is Ben Simmons sort of getting away with this? Didn't he have a redshirt year? It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Joel Embiid had 2 redshirt years.
All right, but
and
nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Why?
Because there wasn't a head-to-head like this. This is Donovan Mitchell, lost in the shadows in Utah, finally coming out of the shadows, catching fire, and creating a late groundswell of genuine, authentic, deserved support, because I think he's going to make a late rush at winning this thing.
He ain't going to win.
I don't know. I think it's starting.
But nobody had a problem with Blake Griffin redshirting and winning Rookie of the Year the following year. Now, if Joel Embiid had won, the only reason Joel Embiid didn't win Rookie of the Year, he only played 31 games. Everybody know he had a better year than Malcolm Brogdon, but he didn't win it because he only played 31 games. And no one would have had a problem with it. They would have had a problem had he played more games. He would have won. But because he played 31, I heard a lot of the sports writers saying, I just can't vote for a guy that played so few games.
Okay.
But this guy right here, number 25, yeah.
So Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
How much of an advantage is it to have a redshirt year in pro basketball? Yep.
You don't know.
Is there an advantage? Yes.
He didn't play in the game.
Did he practice with the Sixers? Yes, he did. Did he sit on the bench during games and absorb the speed of the game, the pace of the game,
Ain't
the
nothing
vibe of the game?
Ain't nothing like playing in the game.
No, there's not.
I drive fast on Wilshire Boulevard.
Do you?
That don't mean I can go to Daytona.
Careful on Wilshire.
Go down it.
Yeah.
Try
Avenue of the Stars.
I've been that kitchen. I've been that kitchen on Avenue of the Stars.
Avenue of the Stars is just wide open.
And you don't drive fast.
I'll be speeding.
Yeah.
Faster than a speeding.
I heard that Joy pulled up behind you one time. You're going like 30 at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's 3 in the morning. I'm chilling. Got me some nice tunes on. I'm just chilling. Got my windows cracked. I'm good.
30?
Yeah.
Huh?
What I'm in a
She
hurry
had to
for?
like honk and go around you?
I
Who
don't
is this
honk.
little old
I just-
lady?
She just.
Who are you, the little old lady from Pasadena?
I started to put the brights on her. Put my siren on top of my truck and pull her over.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
But Skip, you need to stop.
Yep.
Ben Simmons is the Rookie of the Year, and deservedly so. Stop with this foolishness about.
I think, seriously, with or without red shirt, this guy is, he is electrifying a whole team that has no business being in the They're not just in the playoffs, they're vying for the 3 seed in the West.
16 straight.
They're the team Golden State does not want to see.
16
You
straight.
realize what they've been doing to Golden State the last 3 times they played them?
Hold on, Kevin Durant didn't play last night.
Okay. So, yeah, he did.
Oh, he did. I'm glad you
Nobody
said it.
played.
Well, no, don't do that.
Nobody played.
Don't do that.
No, I mean, they just
the
said
best
we're
player
not
on the
playing.
planet. The best player on the planet plays less than 30 minutes, and he's a negative 35 in plus minus.
Wow. So wait a second. Utah's beaten Golden State the last 3 times by 40 and 30 and 19. Is that right? Wow.
And with
Does that have anything to do with the Rookie of the Year?
with the
I'd
best,
say.
with the best player?
Huh.
How you get beat with the best player on the planet? You think LeBron James would let that happen?
If Golden State had a vote of who they didn't want to play, who do you think they'd vote? We don't want to play this team. Do you think they'd all vote Utah? Why is that?
Probably the Spurs.
It's not because of the Stifle Tower. It's because of that electric kid out there on the perimeter that nobody can stop.
You got Errol Curtin's old number on, number 25, to go back to the old Sixers. Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year. So when he makes the All-Star game next year, they put all those patches. Like LeBron got 4 MVPs. He got 3 final MVPs.
Yep.
He's going to be like a 16, 15-time All-Star. He going to have his patch.
BS.
Rookie O.
BS.
R-O-Y. Call it Roy.
BS.
Ben
It's all
Roy
BS.
Simmons.
It's all BS.
That's his hot.
And now LeBron's going to DM you and say, hey, thanks, Shay. Thanks for supporting my unclutch kid.
Ben
His client. You're disqualified
Roy
from this discussion.
Simmons.
You're an unclutch client, right?
Do you know what Roy is?
Huh?
You know what Roy is? What Roy means?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So that's what's going to be his moniker.
Okay.
Roy.
Okay.
Ain't no petty like NBA petty, huh?
No mercy.
Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. More Undisputed is on the way, but first, a quick word about Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he deals in bacon. It's the Bacon Boss Burger, featuring bacon 3 different ways in a blanket of white cheese sauce. And he's joined by other new favorites, like the smothered cheesesteak quesadilla, sweet chili shrimp, and Alaska Cod Classic. All pair perfectly with a Sam 76, a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager. Hurry in today and try them all before they're gone at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Available for a limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly.
No mercy.
The Sixers are red hot heading into the playoffs. They've won 15 straight and have a 1-game lead over the Cavs. They need either a win or a Cavs loss tonight to clinch the 3rd seed in the East. LeBron and company have won 6 of their last 7. That one loss came in Philadelphia. We are joined by former NBA All-Star Caron Butler. Welcome back, Caron.
Good
morning.
Thanks for having me.
How big of a threat is Philly to the Cavs?
Not a huge threat. I think they're an amazing regular season story. I think they're going to cause a lot of disruption in the playoffs and not going to be an easy out because they're young enough not to know any better, meaning that they're going to go into playoff series just playing all out, and that's part of it. But when it comes down to the ins and outs of the game and understanding personnel and tendencies and things like that, when you dial in playing the same team over and over again in a 7-game series, I just think that the Cleveland Cavaliers are poised and ready for that second half of the season, which is the playoffs, and they'll come out of a series like that.
Well, I've always felt because they have 2 of the best players in the East, happen to be on the same team, and Roy Simmons is special.
Yeah.
I don't call him Ben, I call him Roy, Rookie of the Year Simmons. Oh, you like that name skill? I gave old Roy Simmons.
I think you like it. I don't really like it.
Roy Simmons and Joel Embiid.
I like his
We're going to have to talk
initials
about
better.
that, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you like Donovan Mitchell, huh?
I'm saying this, as a Rookie of the Year, Donovan Mitchell. Biggest upside, Ben Simmons. But go ahead, finish your thing.
But when you have a guy, now they can shoot the 3 ball. I didn't envision them being able to shoot the 3 ball like this. But let's just say for the sake of argument, you get into a ball game and the 3 ball isn't falling. They got a 7'3" guy you can dump it down to, and nobody has an answer for that. He can shoot the 3, he can mid-range game, but when he put his back against the basket and he 10 feet from the cup, you can't stop him. You can't. You got to try to take the ball out of his hand, and you better hope they're off from 3 because they're on from 3 like they were against Atlanta and like they were kicking on even without Joel Embiid in the game against the Cavaliers. The way they was hitting those 3s, they're going to be a tough out. But against LeBron, I know he can give me 40, 10, and 12 for 7 games if I need it. Can Joel Embiid give me 30 and 20? Because that's what they're going to need to take him down.
Really?
Yes.
But what about Roy?
Oh, Roy going to do it. Roy.
Now you don't like him anymore.
I still like Roy, but I don't like Roy against Bron in this matchup.
Yeah.
Regular season, I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But LeBron, man, he done Wakanda forever. He done gone and got that vibranium.
Get ready.
Woo! Ooh, somebody in heap of trouble, Skip.
So I'm going to remind both of you. The Philadelphia 76ers right now have held opponents to the lowest shooting percentage in the whole NBA. That means they're the #1 defensive team in the whole NBA. They're also #1 in the whole NBA in rebounds. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they have risen all the way to #2 in three-point shooting. And I can make the case that since they added Bellinelli, they might be the most dangerous three-point shooting team in the league. And don't tell me Bellinelli hasn't been there and done that because he was on the floor in 2014 when my Spurs decimated, just wiped out what was left of LeBron and Dwayne and the Heat by a record finals margin. And Bellinelli just draining threes, and he was draining them last night again in Atlanta. They made 17 threes last night. So it's a fearless bunch. And Ilyasova can make threes. And he He is a pro basketball player, and they've added some veteran depth to go along with the Covingtons, and J.J. Redick can just shoot the lights out. J.J. Redick knows how to play. He's a pro. That they have enough veteran savvy on that team to go with the two kids in the middle that it just comes down to Joel Embiid. I don't know how he's going to come back. Will he come back? I don't know for sure. You've had that injury, right?
He'll be back.
Pretty serious.
Yeah.
I think he'll be back. Is he going to have to wear a mask?
Yes.
I assume he'll have to wear a mask. Will he like the mask?
No.
Probably not.
Get
Will it
foggy.
bother his shooting? Maybe. Because he likes to shoot threes, too.
Yeah. When you remember LeBron wore that mask.
He did.
Joy, you remember them good old days, Joy.
Put it in.
Ooh.
And they got cranky because he was wearing the black one.
Yeah, you know, that villainesque.
Yeah, and then he just finally just took it off and threw it, right?
But as Karan was saying, when you get in a series, it's the same team every other night. You get to lock in.
So this same team, the 76ers, just went on March 1st to Cleveland, and boy, they did a number on the Cavaliers that night, and that was with all the new pieces. All you're right?
Scalp.
Huh?
They lost. I mean, they lost the game. So regular season and playoffs are different.
I'm glad you said that. Like, today is the last day of the regular season.
Yeah.
And then
I got it.
None of this matters anymore. Everybody's 0-0.
Okay.
The series changed. So I feel like you're not going to go into the playoffs with that same defensive percentage. Like you're the best top 5 in the league or whatever. It starts over. This is a new season.
Yep.
And I feel like, you know, LeBron James is going to be special, you know, in this playoff stretch.
And you know
I'm sure he
Skip,
will.
you know,
I'm sure he will.
You
Take it
know
to
how he
another level.
goes up a level from the regular season.
Yeah, well, he went up a level last Friday night in Philly, and then help me out. What happened
Body.
after that?
Ooh, did you see?
And he already played the mind game with Ben Simmons already. He praised him, and then he put him in his place at the same time. And what I mean by that is he paid homage to him by saying, look, you're the Fresh Prince, but I'm the king.
And he don't. And right now, the way Bron in year 15, he Donkey Konging everybody.
Really?
Nurkic, Ilyasova. Oh, he almost, that game you're talking about, you saw Joel Embiid, he stepped to the side. He ain't want none of that.
Just the way LeBron stepped to the side on Ben Simmons?
Oh, Beasley. Beasley didn't want none of that on Monday night. Beasley ain't want nail that, Skip.
Business decision.
Oh, yeah.
So help me out. Last Friday night,
Yes.
did you close your restaurant to LeBron? Because they took the L.
Yeah, he did it, Skip. I mean, what more
I
could
don't
the man
know.
do? The man, what did he have? 43, 41, 44?
And then
triple-dub?
Then what happened at the end?
We shouldn't even been in that
Put
situation.
LeBron on that free throw line by himself, and boy, you got to close your eyes
What
because
do you
you
like
know
to
bad
say?
stuff is going to happen.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, there was a game in 2013, Game 7.
Yeah.
Can you tell people at home what was LeBron's free throw in that Game 7? He was 8 for 8.
All I care about is that Ray Allen saved LeBron's
No, he
legacy with the greatest clutch shot in the history
Skip,
of
why you keep
basketball.
saying that?
Because it's
UConn.
the bottom line truth. UConn is in the house right here.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What did Jim Paxson do? What did Steve Kerr do?
Yeah,
What
but
about Metta World Peace?
Those were
Did
to win. Those were to win the game.
Okay.
This is desperation. LeBron has taken the three to tie and missed it LeBrick badly. And it bounces so long that Chris Bosh goes and tracks it down and has the savvy to kick a sweet little pass to Ray Allen in the corner. And he just goes up as pure as you can go up and just ripped it.
You know, but
Right?
you know, Karan, Skip will never give this context. They were down by 10 going into the fourth quarter. The man scored 16. He assisted on another 6. He had 2 steals, 3 assists. Bobby, but Skip won't give you that.
Because he swept under the carpet that he had 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes of that game. LeBron James
22 of the 30 points that they scored was at the hand.
Yep.
And when they got to overtime, can you tell the people at home, Skip, what happened? Because I don't know if they remember.
My team was shot in the heart
Why were they shot in the heart?
by Ray Allen.
No, don't do that.
No
Skip.
team
Was
has
it the
never been
Chris
shot.
Bosh rebound and kick out, or what was it?
Which part? What do you mean?
You said they were shot in the heart.
Yeah,
Or
by
what
Ray
led
Allen.
to it?
Oh, it was LeBron missing. Led to it. Yeah.
Okay, but you got Game
What
7.
if Ray
you get a
misses
chance,
that
you get
shot?
a chance to regroup
Wait.
because you've been there before, Karan.
Do you realize if Ray misses that shot, your man is now 2-6 in the NBA Finals? Think about that. That will be ugly.
What if
2-6.
what if Kyrie doesn't get hurt? Since we're doing hypotheticals, what if Kyrie doesn't get hurt and they play the Golden State Warriors?
You were still up 2-1 in the Kings' house.
No.
Yeah.
You were up.
Yep.
Okay, it was 3-3.
Yep.
You was 3-3. Okay.
3-3 win.
Yeah.
What if Steph didn't
Love
get
when we
hurt?
get to show that.
Steph, when Steph was hurt?
Steph was hindered in that playoff.
73-9. And LeBron brought him back. 41-11-8.
So
41-12-5.
So do we still have a
those
case?
lottery numbers.
Do we have a case to do on tonight's game in Philadelphia?
Yeah, we do.
Those Sixers, they got to play back to back.
Yeah.
Atlanta,
Oh my
tough game.
God. Giannis. Antetokounmpo.
Yep.
Great freak.
Sharge took one right in the kisser last night.
Young
Got a
fella.
tooth knocked out, so he may not play. Shorthanded, no Embiid.
And you saw what LeBron did. All the Greek freaks stop playing.
You realize
Get in your place.
this is for the 3 seed. This is for home court advantage.
What did LeBron tell you?
Huh?
LeBron done told him.
Seeds don't matter. That's what
Mustard
you don't.
seeds.
So why should he even
Playing all
play
kind of
tonight?
As
seeds.
long as he get in.
He
Because
should
he want to
sit
play all
tonight.
82.
Sit.
No.
Just sit.
No.
Wait, I'm glad you brought that up. Wait, is this the first time LeBron has ever played all 82
First time
in
he's
his
played.
career?
This is I think the first time since 2007 or 2008 that he's played the final game of the year.
Huh? Why is that?
He's cheated no city out of the
No.
LeBron James experience.
Wait. Well, he's cheated a whole bunch of cities.
No.
'cause
Not this year.
Wait a second. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, he played all 82 9 times?
But he played
This
15
is
years,
LeBron's
so what about
first
the other
time?
6? What about the other?
What happened?
Give LeBron any kind
This
of
is
seed.
the first time LeBron's ever played all 82?
Give LeBron a bottle of water, any kind of seed you want. Mustard seed, sunflower, pumpkin, grape.
Really?
Watch it grow.
Huh.
Watch
so
it grow?
it doesn't matter. He should sit tonight.
Watch it grow.
Sit and watch, right?
We need chemistry.
Huh? You need chemistry?
Yeah. Because we got to look for how we're going to play without Tristan.
Really?
Because he in a heap of trouble.
He's in a heap of trouble?
Heap of trouble.
That's
Really?
What, that's what the word on the street is.
He got problems that Bron can't help him with.
Really?
Because normally you're on the court, Bron can put you in a situation, get you out. Bron can't help him with this one.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Bron can do a lot of
No,
stuff.
he can't do nothing with it here.
Yeah.
The cameras done got it.
He's the king.
Yeah, but
Praying for him.
yeah, hey, no, Clay gonna lay hands on him.
Yeah, maybe.
but not like he think.
So is that going to disrupt the Cavaliers?
No. Bron got this. Look here. We about to go 0 dark 30.
Okay.
So is there anything you want me to tell Bron? Because after the night, it's 0 dark 30.
Just tell him Sixers are coming. Just tell him that. He knows. He watches.
about to put foot
so,
through him.
so wait a second. This is the best defensive team versus the team that's now ranked 29th in defense?
Which team has LeBron James?
Wow.
That's who Vegas gonna take.
Huh.
Who has the best player?
Be with best.
LeBron now ranked 311th in defensive win shares. That's a little improvement.
I guarantee you have a draft right now, he going first.
Really? In defensive win shares?
Have a draft right now, he going first. In year 15, with all these young bucks.
Robert Covington's second in the whole league in defensive win shares.
He-
Wait, Embiid is sixth.
He just dropped
Ben Simmons
44
is
on
But
eighth.
the reason why Philly is so effective because of pace.
Yeah.
Now you're going to slow the game,
Okay.
slow the game down as much as possible. Ben Simmons is still going to be the point forward. You're going to go under everything.
Okay.
Yes.
And force him to do what? Shoot jumpers. And when in doubt, foul him.
Yeah.
Send him to the foul line.
Thank you.
I'm
And
with
the
you.
game is going to be different. He's going to
Okay.
be discouraged as a young guy,
Yeah.
learning on the fly, going through that adversity.
He's got a bunch of sharpshooters to kick it to. You know it. There are
Stay
a bunch
home.
of them.
Stay home.
Stay home?
Stay home.
Really?
Shrink the court, stay
Yeah.
home.
He can get to the
Oh,
rim,
Jeff,
though.
and Uncle Jeff Green. Oh, Jeff Green been balling lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, he done
Yeah,
gone
he's
to
been playing
Wakanda.
well. Yeah.
Wakanda forever.
So,
got on that
do
vibranium.
you think the Cavs could win a Game 7 in Philly?
We're not gonna even get that far.
You don't think so?
No.
This would definitely go 7.
I bet you won't bet nothing.
I will bet something.
Do.
If it comes to that, I'll
It
bet.
ain't going 7.
I got to see what Embiid is doing. I got to see if he can play with the
He'll
mask.
be out there.
I got 5 on it.
Yeah.
Buffalo Nickels.
Yeah.
You got 1 on it tonight.
5.
Huh?
Giannis,
Yep. Okay.
Middleton, Jabari,
Okay. you
John
got all-
Henson,
You got it.
Bledsoe,
Here
Clutch
we go.
Sport.
Here we go. Clutch Sports. Unclutch. Yeah.
Karan, thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
We can add Robert Kraft's name to the list of celebrities campaigning to free Meek Mill. Kraft visited him in prison yesterday in Pennsylvania. Meek Mill is serving a 2 to 4 year sentence for violating his probation. Kraft said we need to do something with the criminal justice reform and added, quote, "This guy is a great guy and shouldn't be here." Shannon, what's your reaction?
Free Meek Mill. Skip, it's great to see Mr. Kraft speak out on this issue. It's great, it's even better to see a wealthy, white, billionaire NFL owner speaking about criminal justice reform. And you see, Skip, when you know someone that's been affected by this, it impacts you in a different way. because he's looking at it like, hold on, this guy's a celebrity, he's an entertainer, he has money, but the system says no. We've seen people charged with murder get bail. They won't give him bail because I don't want to get into he's guilty, and that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that they won't allow him to have bail because he violated probation. Okay, and someone's charged with murder, they'll give them parole. So to hear Mr. Kraft says, you know what? There's a lot of NFL players that's fighting this very issue. And now to have Mr. Kraft to know someone personally that's impacted by this, now you can see the empathy that he's starting to show. The one thing you know about Mr. Kraft that he understands, he's an empathetic man. He's not this doesn't, and I'm not so sure that had he not gone with his friend Ruben to see Meek Mill, I don't know if he was felt the same way, but to know, I guess he got an opportunity to know Meek Mill. And, Mr. Kraft knows a lot of celebrities, Skip, because when you win as much as they have, they have ring ceremonies, they have entertainers. When they have, after the game, they have, entertainers. So he's come in contact with a lot. DJ Khaled, Snoop Dogg, P. Diddy, I'm sure Jay-Z, all these people he knows personally. So now to get an opportunity to go see this young man who is in an unfortunate situation, and he's like, we need criminal justice reform. We need to do something about this because this isn't right. Kudos, Mr. Kraft. See, I knew it was the reason I liked him. Like him even more now. I'm with Mr. Kraft now. I'm against Coach Belichick. See, I flipped it just that quick.
So help me out on this.
Okay, I'm going to try to.
Why did a Philadelphia TV station just happen to be at the prison gate when Mr. Kraft exited? Help me out. How did that happen?
Because they
Aren't you a little suspicious of that?
No.
Oh.
I'm not suspicious of it.
Maybe they just hang around the prison gate.
Well, they want to see if any
celebrities
celebrity.
come
Think
and go.
about all the celebrities that been shouting out Meek Mill.
Could be. A lot have been. So, is it possible that Robert Kraft, who took much criticism because he is a very close friend of Donald Trump's, correct? And he's gone on and on about how Donald Trump was there for him when he lost his wife and called him once a week for the whole year after he lost his wife. And yet it's not a great look for him in the context he's in, owning a team that is, 75%?
65, 70% African-American, absolutely.
So is there any damage control here, any sort of spin control, like image remake? Oh, well, I went to visit Meek Mill. I want a free Meek, right?
No, because he went to visit President Trump just last year. So, no, there's no damage control.
Okay.
He doesn't really gain anything out of this, Skip. Mr. Kraft is going to be Mr. Kraft. He's going to be just as wealthy had he not gone to see Meek Mill. His players don't think any less of him. They probably think more of him now that he's gone.
Probably do.
But I think the thing is, Skip, what's resonating, let's just remove his team. It's resonating with a lot of African Americans that we have a wealthy white billionaire owner. I know another Bob that wouldn't have shown up. He wouldn't be within a 100-mile radius of that place.
You lost me on that.
Yeah, what's the other Bob that owns an NFL team?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
But
that
for
is a
him,
fact.
But for him, Skip,
Yeah.
to do that, to say, because he could have gone and not said anything. I'm just here with Michael Rubin, and we just blah, blah, blah. He didn't have to say anything.
Remember, just for the record, Michael Rubin is co-owner of the 76ers and the New Jersey Devils, but go ahead.
So he didn't have to say anything.
Yep.
He could have just went, I'm just going to see a friend, I know Meek, blah, 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 personal relationship, and keep it moving. But for him to say what he said, that's a lot of weight, Skip. That's a lot of weight. Remember how the civil rights movement, blacks been protesting for the longest time, but when they got some of those whites on their side and those whites started marching with them and they got some wealthy whites, now the tide shifted. To have him say that, that the system needs to be corrected, that's a whole different ball game. That's a possible game changer.
Okay. So I am completely with you. We have talked endless number of times on this show about how we are in dire need of criminal justice reform in this country. I'm still not sure this is the right case to pin that to. That's just me, and again, I'm way out of my league and out of my lane here, but I've read and kept close touch with this case for it's gone on for a long time.
Yes.
And frankly, I don't really get it. It eludes me, but maybe I'm missing something. I realize there's become some issues between the judge and Meek Mill.
Right, and that's the
got
thing.
a little too personal.
Because normally what happens is that the judge gives great latitude,
Yep.
a deference to the prosecution when they
Yep.
say they're okay with bail, or they say, okay, we'll release this guy on his own recognizance. Skip, for the prosecutor to say, we have no problem with bail, and the judge that says no, that doesn't,
But-
I mean,
but-
not always, it's not always the case, but normally.
Okay, but when he was first sentenced for his first gun drug charge and
Yes.
went to jail, it was said to be a pretty light sentence. Most people thought within the legal community that's a pretty light sentence. Then he's given parole, and over years he just repeatedly and outrageously violates his parole again and again. It's many times. And did she get a little too close? And this, okay, but again, just me. If I'm on parole, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be violating the way he violated, because you're just asking for it and asking for it and asking for it, right?
But I think Mr. Kraft sees that blacks, minority, the indigent, now Meek Mill is not indigent, they're treated unfairly in the criminal justice.
That is a fact.
So that's
Yeah.
what, and he gets an
Okay,
opportunity to
that's
see.
the bigger picture.
That's
I'm not
what-
sure it's this
Yeah,
picture, the
yeah.
little picture of this case,
Yeah.
but I get it. That's a strong platform to step onto.
Yes.
And I agree with you. It has national or international
Yes.
impact that he showed up there. And again,
And he spoke what he spoke.
Yeah.
Because if he had just shown up,
yeah,
that's it. But to have him put those words
yep.
to why and after he comes out, that's big. That's big for Mr. Kraft.
Yeah, but he did say Meek's a great guy, and I'm sure he's a great guy. But you know, and I know, great guys make bad choices.
Oh yeah, sometimes
right?
great guys do bad, dumb things.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the bigger picture, you know. Like,
Yeah.
would we be talking about this right now, or even on this show, if he hadn't gone to
No,
see
he went.
Meek Mill? And that's why people are fighting for the case of Meek Mill. Maybe he did violate his parole, which he was, probation, which he was on for 10 years. And this is a big problem in our community and in our country. There's 60,000 people incarcerated for minor parole violations right now. Taxpayers are paying for that, by the way.
That's the thing, and then you can't pay, they put you in jail.
Right.
Well, if I can't pay and I'm out, how the hell can I pay if you put me in jail, Skip? How will I ever be able to make the money to be able to pay? I mean, you and I look at $250, and that's not a lot of money. But Skip, when you don't make $250 a month, and you got to file.
Right. So the system
agree.
is flawed,
Yes.
and Meek Mill is a famous person who has famous friends who are supporting him, not just for Meek Mill's cause, but for the bigger picture, for the people whose names we don't know.
In a month, you'll be out.
No mercy.
Tom Brady will be 41 when the season starts, but he already said he would like to play until his mid-40s. Brady has 2 years left on his deal, but Robert Kraft said talks of an extension haven't come up yet. Kraft was asked why that is and said, quote, he'll be 41 when the season starts. Neither side has an issue with it. If it becomes an issue, we'll deal with it. I hope he plays. He's at a different point in his life. He talked about it. It's interesting to see that Tom versus time and see where he's at, his kids growing up, but that is something for he and his family to decide what is right for him. Me personally, I'd like to see him play as long as he can. We're joined by Fox NFL analyst and Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. Welcome, Ray. Good morning.
Morning.
Shannon, I'll start with you. How much longer will Brady play?
I believe he plays, and the thing is, Coach Belichick had his way last year. This would have been his last. Well, last year after the Super Bowl would have been his last year in New England. Skip, I'm more inclined to believe he plays at least this contract out. I believe he plays 20 and steps away, barring anything unforeseen as far as injury.
Just next year, okay?
You want to play next year?
No, you're saying he will play only next year, correct?
Well, I think Mr. Kraft, he could have doubled down and says, okay, Bill, he's going to be here for the foreseeable future. But he didn't do that.
Did not.
He stated that he's going to be 41.
Yep.
He started, as you alluded to earlier, he brought up the notion that it's probably time for us to start looking for a quarterback. If he was so sure that Tom Brady was going to play until he's 45, why would you even mention the quarterback? But he knows. Tom wants to play that long. Mr. Kraft last year thought he could. There's one person in the room that never thought Tom Brady was going to play until his mid-40s, and that was Bill Belichick. And he almost got his way and made sure that didn't happen when he didn't play in his mid-40s in New England. Skip, there's no way he plays that There's no way he's playing until he's 45. Mr. Kraft understands that. You do not want to be in salary cap hell with dead money on your cap for a guy that does not play, be it because he retired, because he wanted to spend more time with his family, or he got injured and he can no longer play. Mr. Kraft is a very smart businessman. He loves Tom Brady, but he doesn't want to waste any money. And to sign Tom to a long-term extension, I believe would be futile.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think they left it open, right? I mean, leaving it open for him now going into his last 2 years. I mean, look, I talked to Tom. Remember I told you the MVP celebration, and I asked him, you know, how long you were going to play, and he was like mid-40s, right? And that sounds amazing.
And he
right?
said that was at the Carolina
Yeah,
Denver Super
Carolina
Bowl?
Denver. Yeah,
okay. All right.
absolutely. So you ask yourself, okay, wow, really? You can play that long, right? And then you get to this side of it. Let's go to the realistic side of it. That is, can I risk my franchise for Tom Brady to play to 45? Like, now, look, you can do what you want to do, but it's a certain level that's age, Tom versus time. I get it, but what Kraft is dealing with right now is saying, why wouldn't I leave it open? Because if I leave it open, then it gives me options. If I sign Tom to a long-term deal, my options are just like Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why Jimmy's gone now, right? Because they believe that much in Tom. But I think Kraft leaving this thing open now, and I think from the relationship that him and Tom has, that's a conversation year to year, right? I think it was really interesting when I was coming to the end of my career. Me and Steve used to always have this conversation. Like, what do you think?
The Bisciotti.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Steve Bisciotti. He's
Yeah.
like, what do you think?
Ravens
Well,
owner.
yeah,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
I'm good. You know, can I get through one more? Can I get through two more?
Yeah.
You know, we losing in 2011 to New England. He's like, you gonna come back and finish it? I'm like, I'll be back. One more year to finish it. But you just left it open.
Right.
Yeah, it's no long-term thing, because once you get into that, it's a whole different thing with salary cap and everything you're speaking about. So look, I
Did you
think
tell him before your last year, or did you not know until?
no, before my last year.
You
Yeah.
told him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, 2011, we lost the AFC Championship,
Yeah.
and then we connected after that. And he said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm coming back one more time." And I said, "I'm gonna come back to bring you one more ring, and then I'm gonna ride out."
And you did.
Yeah. He was like, "Okay, do that." And that's what I think, honestly. That's what I
Yeah,
think,
why
honestly.
not?
If Tom goes out, and the New England Patriots win this Super Bowl, this is Tom's last ride.
Coach Belichick, whether Tom had won the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl MVP,
He wanted him out.
if Mr. Kraft does not demand that he trades Jimmy
Right.
Garoppolo,
Yeah.
there's no way Tom Brady's on that roster this
Yeah,
year.
Bill's looking towards the future too.
Thank
now.
you.
Absolutely.
That's what I've always
truly.
said.
Yeah.
This is what just gets me about this whole conversation. You two keep trying to push Tom Brady into retirement.
No,
Yes,
no,
you do.
no,
Yeah,
no,
you
no.
do. You keep talking about this is going to be it, this is going to be it. When this guy is just shattering the mold of what time is when it comes to a quarterback. Now, he's playing a position that he can still play in ways you couldn't keep playing your position. You just can't.
No.
Your body won't withstand
Right.
what it required for you to play your position at the level you played it at.
Right.
He can get away with it as long as he's got pliability and avoids the career-threatening injury.
Correct.
And somehow last year he did, because all he did was win NFL MVP, and he stayed upright.
Asterisk.
What's that?
Asterisk.
Asterisk? Oh, please.
Carson Wentz. That's Carson Wentz.
That got disqualified when the backup quarterback took them to the Super Bowl
Where
championship.
Tom Brady can't be the greatest. If you lose to a backup, you can't be the greatest.
Yeah. So all Tom Brady did to cap off his plays, he had one of his all-time great comebacks against the Saxonville defense in the AFC Championship game. Am I right? Am I exaggerating that?
They gagged.
So Jacksonville gagged
Yeah,
in the
they
fourth
did.
quarter. You can make a case, but Tom Brady was really good in the fourth quarter, throwing to Danny Amendola and Chris Hogan.
Oh man,
That's
don't go
it.
there.
You
That,
play-
that was the
you-
worst. That was the worst defensive
Yeah,
plays I've ever seen in my life.
You playing man coverage and not the second half. You start playing zone, but that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
Yep. Jalen Ramsey pretty good. I think he's pretty good, wouldn't you think? I don't know. Some people make the case he's the best cornerback in football. Got shredded, man, by the greatest quarterback ever in the fourth quarter with the money on the table, right? And then the Philadelphia defense was really good. Tom Brady threw for a mere 505 yards. Nobody has ever in the history of the playoffs thrown for 505 yards in any playoff game ever. And he did it, and still his coach is trying to push him out the back door. That's just insane and outrageous. But he's getting away with
He
it.
threw for 505, and Nick Foles said, "Here,
Yeah, here.
hold his tee."
Yeah, hold this tee.
Yeah, hold it tee while I go ahead and do
While I
this to you.
torch Bill Belichick's defense that doesn't have Malcolm Butler, who's healthy, but he's just standing on the
The
sideline.
best quarterback. Does
that not feel a little sabotagey to you?
The best quarterback in the NFL won the MVP at Super Bowl. That's what you think. That's what you lead me to believe. Whoever wins the championship and is the Finals MVP or Super Bowl MVP, those are the best players.
Obviously, Nick Foles is going to be the starter for the Philadelphia
No, he's
Eagles
not.
going forward because he's much better than Carson Wentz.
Don't
We
do
saw
that.
it.
No, we didn't
Carson
see
Wentz
nothing.
played one snap of
He
playoff
got him
football.
there. Got him there.
So what I believe is going to happen is Tom Brady is going to go someplace else and win another Super Bowl. That's
Really?
That's what this is all set up for, because clearly Robert Kraft is starting to speak out of the other side of his mouth, the Bill Belichick side of his mouth. And he is starting to side with the head coach, and he's starting to bring up the fact, remember Tom got hurt, what was it, 07? No, I mean, no,
08.
08, yeah. 08. Remember, he got hurt in the first game. We got to get ready for that. And Tom's going to be at 41 when we start next
Okay,
year.
how about
Really?
this? I'll give you this, Skip.
Yeah.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Tom plays until he's 45. Do you believe Coach Belichick can coach 5 more to 10 more seasons?
Sure. He could coach 20 more
So
years.
why would you push that guy? Why would you push
Because
the guy?
he's 75% of what they've been.
No. The
There's no
architect. The
way.
architect is coach.
Oh,
why
the
didn't Coach
architect?
Belichick?
Huh?
Why
Wait.
isn't Coach Belichick up there?
Hold on. Was the architect not 5-11 his first year in New England,
Yeah.
pre-Tom Brady?
He was the 5'11" guy that says, "I'm gonna draft this guy in the 6th round, and I'm gonna stash him away."
Did the
Skip, where's
architect?
Tom going?
Denver.
Denver. I just think it's
Tom
made.
Brady's going to Denver.
Yeah.
This would be a John Elway special.
Yep.
Did he not say, "Hey Peyton, come on over here. They're going to push you out the back door. We'll take you over here. We'll take you for a couple of years, right?
Yep.
2-3 years, whatever Tom wants to play."
Tom
John-
Brady's going to end his legacy, leaving New England
Yep.
and going to Denver.
And win
Well,
a Super Bowl.
Peyton did okay.
Huh?
Win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Did
You would
Peyton
like
not
that?
do that?
You
Did
would like
Peyton
that?
not do that?
Love it.
Yeah, would you
Oh,
not love it?
he'll be the GOAT again.
Love
man.
It would be
You
Shannon
know-
Sharpe's worst nightmare, because
What?
he would have to root for Tom Brady. It would kill him. It would tear him apart.
He wouldn't sleep at night.
I'm the Broncos.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Orange.
bigger than the people.
Can you
I'm the
imagine?
uniform. I'm that horse on the helmet, Skip Bayless.
Yeah. Well, there's a horse on the helmet in Indianapolis, too, and guess what? It turned into
Yeah,
an orange
Peyton.
horse. Orange horse.
Tom wins the Super Bowl this year. Tom's done.
You think so? Well, but
It ain't
why?
happening.
Why should it? What if he...
Why you want him to keep playing so long, Skip?
Because he likes it. You know, it's all he does. He doesn't have anything else going. He's got his kids. I give you that.
At
He's
TB12,
managed
he
to-
got to open these TB12 centers.
Would you have kept playing 4 more years if your body would have allowed you to? Yes.
That's a totally different question and totally different position and totally
Okay.
different mentality.
But what if you felt 1,000% healthy? Would you not kept playing? Did you not love playing football?
yeah,
Yeah.
truly.
Do you miss any part of it?
No.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
You miss
Do
that
not.
locker room. You
That's
miss
the-
game day.
that-
I
the
know
lock-
you do.
The locker room is totally different than the game,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he need Joe, what you do?
Yeah.
Shay, he called me, I get them jokes. We good. We go about it.
That's it.
You have friends that you call and you talk to, Skip, and you know what's going on, and then you keep it moving. You don't want that grind. I commend Tom.
Tom
I
Brady
do too.
sits there at night. Did you see him in Tom versus Tom? He just sits at his computer at home. His kids are running around. He's just locked in on watching tape, man. He's just
Yeah.
addicted to
We
it.
know how this works. Skip,
He
look,
loves to watch
I done a
tape.
little acting in my time, George, so I know how this
Oh,
works. I know how this works. So what
yeah.
they do is
It's
that he done been doing all this other stuff for the last 6 hours. They come in like, oh, Tom's been there for hours on hours.
Josh, did you see this play? Hold up, Josh McDaniels. Josh, you see this play?
Stop it.
Remember the play we ran against Cincinnati in the preseason game 3 years ago?
Yeah. Well, Skip, I remember the play that I caught against the Raiders. I remember the play that I caught against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And Three Rivers.
Who's to say? Why should history dictate that he should stop after next year? Why? There's no law that says he has to stop. What if he wants to play?
So if he loses, he comes back again.
Loses this coming year?
Yeah, Super
I
Bowl.
think this is it for him in New England. It's going to be up to Tom to say, okay, thank you very much. I'll go play somewhere else. Just the way it was up to Peyton Manning.
Because Kraft is going to say you're out.
Yep. He's going to side with
Coach
the coach.
Belichick gonna say one of these two things, either him or me.
Right,
Okay.
but then let me ask you the next question. If Tom is out after this year,
Yep.
who do they draft to replace Tom?
Okay, I think he's going to go up and get somebody now. He's got
gonna
the
go up in
ammo
this
to
draft
do
and
it.
get somebody.
Get one of those top 5 and say, that's our man for 2 years from now.
But
And
before
he'll be
he does
back
that,
in power. in New England.
before he does that, he's gonna say, you know, Bob, we had the guy that we needed to take us.
Jimmy G.
I think he's probably already said that.
Jimmy G.
God dang it, Bob.
God.
I'm sure he said stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That was a nice way of putting it.
No mercy.
Josh Rosen is definitely not lacking in confidence. His former coach, Jim Mora, called him, quote, a challenge. Rosen was asked about that by ESPN, the magazine, and said, quote, if you can take radioactive material and concentrate it, you can get something real special out of it. In that interview, Rosen said, quote, I want to be great in everything I do. As far as football, I always looked up to Kellen Moore of Boise State. I thought it was the coolest that he was the winningest quarterback of all time. I thought that was a cool word, winningest. So I want to be the winningest quarterback in NFL history. I want to win the most games and the most championships. I'd say 6 titles, but if Tom Brady gets 6, I'll say 7. Aim low. We're joined by Fox NFL draft analyst Joel Klatt. Welcome, Joel.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Joel, did that interview help or hurt Rosen's draft stock?
Okay, so I want to back into that answer because I want to start with this fact. Josh Rosen is the most NFL-ready quarterback in this draft. He's the most skilled passer. He dealt with the pro-style system. He took more snaps under center. All of those things are true. If it wasn't for some of these red flags surrounding Josh, I believe he would be the runaway #1 pick in the draft. However, that selection is not made in a vacuum, so all of the things have to be considered. One is his on-field durability, which has been questioned, and then the other is what we're going to get into here, which is the off-field, let's say, quote-unquote, attitude of Josh Rosen. And unfortunately for him, this article, which was, I believe, meant to help Josh Rosen, is ultimately going to hurt Josh Rosen. The reason is because this entire article was a walking contradiction. Every time I would read an answer, the next answer was flying directly in the face of the previous answer. Let me just cite some examples. He goes to say, listen, I'm me, so deal with it. I value authenticity. He says, don't tell me how to live my life. And yet, in other answers, he says, I need to refine my message, understand what I'm trying to, quote unquote, portray, know where it plays and where it doesn't. So he takes on this motive of controlling his own narrative and it also saying, like, my narrative is my narrative, so deal with it. That's a contradiction. He goes on to say that my passion is for football and I want to be the best quarterback I can be. And then he goes on to say, I just want to be happy and I want to save the world. Well, those two things fly in the face of one another, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFL context. He is also, and this one I thought was very interesting. He talks about one of his main regrets from college was the Donald Trump situation. Okay, so he wears the Trump hat and then he uses the F word and it kind of blows up online, okay? And he says, hey, that was a regret of mine. And then he says, the biggest regret from the situation was that I used the F word, okay? And then he goes on to say, I'm a role model. He embraces his stature as a role model in the community and for kids. He used the F word 3 other times in the article, in answers, including the answer directly after that question. So I started thinking, well, which one is it? And this is my point. This article ultimately hurts because he's not maximizing his opportunities. While some teams might say, listen, he's taking ownership of his own arrogance and he wants to be a great football player, there are going to be others that put it down on their table and they're going to say this is a case study and why we shouldn't draft Josh Rosen, even though he's the most NFL-ready quarterback. He's the best in terms of his efficiency of movement. He's the most beautiful player at the position, and yet we can't take him because of these X, Y, and Zs.
Skip, for me, I would put, of all the things, the way I evaluate a quarterback, I would put down the one-on-one conversation as the least important. Because I know these guys have spent the last 8 weeks with former coaches and former general managers. They know what to say and they know how to say it. Because if you notice, he says, I want to win the most championships. I want to win 6 because Tom Brady has 5. But if Tom Brady wins another, I'm going to say 7.
Yeah.
So I know what to say. I know how to say it. He says, well, if you can harness radioactive material, you can get something beautiful. Well, what the hell if I'm not a scientist? What am I supposed to do with radioactive? I'm a football coach. Skip. I don't know what they're going to do with this young man.
Yeah.
Because I agree with everything you said. He is a walking contradiction. I don't even know if he knows what he wants. He happens to be really, really good at football, but I don't know if that's really, really his passion. See, two things can be true, Skip. You can be good at something, but that's not your passion. We saw that with Barry Sanders. That's why it was so easy for him to walk away.
That's true. Yeah.
He said,
And nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. The reason why he says, my desire to leave is greater than my desire to stay.
Yep.
So if his desire to do other things than play NFL quarterback, Skip, he'll play a couple of years. He's still gonna be a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
He'll play a couple of years, and then he'll go off and do his own thing.
That is correct. I did not love Josh Rosen before I read this article, and now I like him much less. This is a case study in why you should not spend a high draft choice on this young man. Before this, I did not love his makeup. I did not love his intangibles. I didn't love his mental toughness. I didn't love his durability. I didn't love the fact that he often came across as a spoiled rich kid, because I think that's basically what he is, bottom line. And it offended me that he talked about, well, if Tom wins 6th, I'll have to win 7, when he's won nothing in his life that I can see. He didn't win anything in college, and I don't know his high school career at Don Bosco that well.
St. John Bosco.
Yeah, but
It was decent. Obviously, he was a great player.
he was a great player. He won awards, but I don't think
country.
they won. I don't think they won any.
But that's a good school. It's out of Jersey, right?
Yeah. No, it's right here in Southern California.
And it's south.
Don Bosco. Okay.
John is St.
John Bosco.
St. John.
Right
Okay,
here in
I'm talking about the one in
Don Bosco's in New
No,
Jersey.
I'm thinking of that one also. But this is the one down in Bellflower.
Yes.
So the point is, you won what? You did what? And he's talking about, I love Kellen Moore, winningest. Or were you close to being the winningest college quarterback? I don't see it. So to me, I say this every year about these quarterbacks. You better know or don't risk the high pick. And now somebody's going to risk a high pick on him, I assume. Will he go in the top? Let's say, what's his floor? How far could he fall to where? 13, 14, 15?
Potentially. And listen, it's not unprecedented that we see someone with this type of ability level fall into the 20s.
Maybe.
We saw it with Aaron Rodgers, and there's certainly a lot of similarities.
But I always say this. If I have any doubts about one of these we got 5 kids who are up there in the top somewhere, I'm not taking them in the first round, because he'll just disappoint you, he'll frustrate you, and he'll leave your fans up in arms at you. You know, like, what did you do? Because once you take him at 2, let's say the Giants take him at 2, well, then you're stuck with this experiment, and it's going to go on for a while because your pride's going to be on the line, and you're going to try him, and you're going to try him for 2 years, and then 3 years, and finally at some point you're going to say, you know what, he's just not that guy.
Yeah, and what's interesting to me, listen, I've followed him closely since he committed to UCLA. And what was interesting is that, the narrative early in his career was what a great athlete he was as a kid as well. And remember, he was a great individual tennis player, like a really good. The problem with that, and this is going to sound harsh, but Shannon, I think you understand what I'm trying to say. The locker room in the NFL or any level of football does not treat individual sport mentalities all that well.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because you can be a good teammate. Your teammates can like you, and yet you can affect your locker room negatively by the things that you say. Let me cite an example. During an interview during his college career, he said he chose UCLA to, quote unquote, mess with people. Like it was, not necessarily the place that he should go, so I'm going to do that to mess with people. Well, he might think that, and that's fine, but he's not the only one that answer is beholden to. Remember, there are guys walking through those doors trying to bust their butt every single morning in the weight room and on the practice field, and then they look at the quarterback and they're like, he's only here because he's playing a big joke on everybody? Wait. So that's why I say the individual sport mentality sometimes with Josh bleeds over in these interviews, and that's the contradictions that I'm seeing in this piece in the magazine.
And he did bring up the name Tom Brady, so I'm going to refer one thing about Tom Brady. I don't like quarterbacks who are self-obsessed, who are self-analyzing and constantly saying, I'm trying to figure out the world. The one thing I love about Tom Brady, in public, he never talks about what he thinks about religion, politics, or anything else. He just all about my teammates and football. And I've never heard one of his teammates, and I've known a whole bunch of them back through my days in television, who ever had one negative thing to say about Tom Brady. I will bet you some of Josh Rosen's teammates have not loved some of his behavior and how he carries himself.
He's a guy that the more he talks, you wish he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly, every time he opens his mouth, it seems a toe comes out because he puts his foot in his mouth. You never say, the only reason I went here to mess with someone because someone wanted me to go somewhere else. Right. And so I did this because, bruh. And in tennis, what is that, Skip? That's an individual sport.
It is.
So you can have the me.
Yeah.
Or if you play golf, individual sport, me. But when you play on football, especially, there are 109 guys on the college football team. You go to the NFL, there's 53. I tell you what, be a quarterback and take that attitude to the NFL.
And you have to be uniquely aware of the way that your wake, behind a boat, your wake affects the locker room. In an individual sport, you don't have to worry about that because you're the only one in that locker room.
Last point. Maybe prototypically he's the most ready to play in the NFL because he came from more pro style.
As a player, he's beautiful.
No, I got it.
He is.
But to me, Baker Mayfield has played on bigger stages and bigger stakes games than he has, and Baker Mayfield will not be afraid of the NFL. I think you could throw him into the fire next year, and he would not disappoint you the way this kid will if you throw him into a big fire next year.
Yeah. If he gets into the right fit, Josh Rosen will succeed. He's good enough as a player. Now, is that team going to be willing to get over some of these red flags? That's the question.
Yeah, like Donovan Mitchell say, if you take a test long enough, you should be good at it. They've been asking.
Study for the test.
Yeah, they study. Yeah, and the thing is, they done sat down with these head coaches and general managers and know every question that they're going to be asked. Oh, yeah, I want to win 7 championships. Oh, yeah, I just like winning. Winning is everything to me. Stop.
Well, I don't know. Take a shot at Kellen Moore either, but I don't know if that's the one you want the NFL
Boise
aiming
State,
for.
baby, Boise
Joel,
State.
thanks for
Rolling.
joining
You
us.
bet.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.